it became really obvious that this was a perfect moment in time to celebrate two extraordinary human beings who have done incredible work, but maybe broaden that a little bit and say, you know, it's not just Todd and Ross. It's our entire community of first responders who, like our veterans, take these jobs. They're not incredibly well paid. They're incredibly risky. And do they get enough thanks and reward for doing that? No, I don't think so.
There was really little to no preparation for first responders, for police officers, on what you're going to come up against, and what you're going to see and how it's going to affect you. It was always kind of that, you go out there, you do the job, and if you see something, you shake it off and you keep going.
I see things, I hear things, I touch things, and I smell things that are unnatural. But there really is no training to prepare you for those things. It's more pull yourself up by the bootstraps if you can handle it and move on.
So we have people that come from whatever walk of life. We send them to training, and then they're out in the world, and we're sending them sometimes to see very, traumatic things. You don't see people lose their lives and walk away from it, and it affects you.
We live in a great country, lots of opportunity. I'm the American dream, buying a house at the age of 24, having a family at the age of 24, going to college. I mean, I did it all. But I realized that's how my depression got more dangerous as I got older, because I realized that nothing I could do would get rid of that suicidal image in my mind over and over and over again. When I was 8 years old, I tried to die by suicide. At the age of 14, I tried to die by suicide again. And when I was 18, once again I tried to die by suicide, and was found by a police officer. And that's how I entered the mental health system.
Police officers have an innate fear that if I am found out, if somebody knows that these things I'm having these problems, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to not be able to carry a gun. I'm not going to be able to jump on the back of a fire truck.
First responders are the first people, of course, by definition, that you're going to meet when you're in a crisis situation. Why shouldn't they be prepared in a way that they can de-escalate and work with it? But also, why shouldn't they be protected against the secondary post-traumatic stress that they're going to suffer with, and learn how to manage that?
Good first responders are the product of many years, which is another reason it brings me to the need to make sure that we're, among teaching the skills to deal with crisis, we're teaching coping skills, because there has to be longevity for you to get there. In order to be the best that you can be, you're going to need years. You're going to need longevity. There's somebody to talk to that's non-judgmental, and it's all confidential, and none of it gets shared, and they don't take notes, and they don't do reports, and they do the opposite of what most first responders do, where they document everything. They don't. They help people, and if people need to be referred, they have the training to recognize when a referral takes place to get people to a greater level of help.
You've ever had a bruise on your arm or your thigh, and you rub it, and you feel like, it's painful when you rub it, and you feel like it's going to go away if you rub it even more. But you keep going back to it every time because it's, for some reason you feel like you have to rub that bruise. It's no different when you experience a trauma like a SIDS case. It's a bruise on the brain. There are neurons that house that memory in your brain, and they're bruised. And we can go back and massage that memory over and over and over again in the privacy of your own mind, and no one would know. And so it's really important to be able to talk about these things and get it out in the open.
So the real goal is whether it's a physical injury or psychological injury, that's the tone every time. You go and you get help and you come back. You know that you're not looked at any differently. Nobody looked at me any differently because I had a knee injury that I wouldn't be able to make good decisions as a police officer. And so I think that's important, that people realize you come back and it's the same, you know, the same thing exists. The path will be the same.
Who else needs to understand human behavior more than those first responders? And for them to step up and say, educate us, and we'll educate you, this is two-way, I think is a wonderful reason to celebrate first responders in general, not only in Concord, in New Hampshire, and the rest of the country.
Because it's not just me being recognized, the whole program, peer counseling and first responders and crisis management, that's what's being recognized there. It's not the person, it's the concept.
It's nice to be recognized, but tomorrow I have another speaking engagement, and I'm just going to tell my story.